on for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
The field is now set, the regular season is upon us, and action from last week's duel is now concentrated in one event. Back live from the virtual Daytona International Speedway, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution. I'm your host, Mike Noss, and joining me for the entire season, we have our producer as well as color commentator, Morgan Cook. Tonight is the first official race of the season. So drivers, start your engines for the Coastal Financial 250 at Daytona. High-speed banking the high speeds and high banking is sure to bring out some tight 3-wide racing here tonight with the defending winner of last season's inaugural race, Trevor Erhardt, looking to defend his title. 8 of the last 10 races at the super speedways have also been won by league admins. Interesting note as well. As you know, this is a little deja vu, of course, for Racing Revolution, as we were here last week. However, last week, of course, was the preliminary event, which was the qualifiers for tonight's grid. So basically, of course, the odds and evens were set from that last week. And especially taking a look here tonight at the track as well, as we'll be seeing such a full field. Morgan, what are your thoughts here on this race tonight?
Well, the inaugural race at Daytona, it's a tradition for most leagues, no different here at Racing Revolution, and I am really excited for this one. I love this racetrack. I love racing here under the lights and seeing all of the pageantry that is 2 wide and 3 wide drafting here at Daytona. It'll be a long race. Patience will play a factor, and we'll see who can come out on top.
Absolutely. And also, of course, we have our race analysis, taking a look at the track or about what we're going to be having here tonight.
So this is a 100 lap race, 250 miles, half length Daytona 500, if you will. Pit road speed, 55 miles an hour. If you've ever seen a NASCAR race or an iRacing event at the Daytona International Speedway, you will know that it is difficult getting on pit road. They fan out wide because they're coming from 185 plus to 55 very quickly. 6 tire sets probably won't make much of a difference tonight. 2 green-white checkers. We may get into overtime tonight. There will be a single stage break at lap 32 in the iRacing fixed setup tonight.
And of course, we have the highlights from the previous race as well. Starting that off, though, we are going to be taking a look at, as we go trackside, we're going to be taking a look at our Coastal Financial Pole Board. And our mission here at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Starting us off, though, we have Jeremy Burns, who as well here tonight. Of course, he is going to be the receiver of that pole award, and he does have a little message as well as, of course, joining him in the passenger seat is going to be Trevor Brown. Trevor Brown is a volunteer firefighter at the Sterling Volunteer Fire and Rescue, and unfortunately, Trevor recently lost his life in the line of duty this past Friday. Jeremy is going to be honoring him tonight, along with all first responders for everything that they do to keep us safe. So shout out, of course, from everyone here at B-Speed towards all first responders. You guys are amazing. Keep us safe out there. And of course, to the Brown family, our hearts are out to you. And moving on through the rest of the pole, though, of course, or through the rest of the field, we have Jeremy Burns lining up on the front row with Matthew Robinson next to him. Robert Raider is going to be lined up on row 2 with Tay McDonald very tight next to him. Kyle Diaz in row 3 with company from Ryan Lane. Justice Murphy, who is going to be bringing up row 4 with Carter Linz, company for him. Alex Forget-Bourbeau in row 5 with Trevor Smith, with Trevor Keith next to him in that 5th row. Starting row 6 is going to be Jacob Stewart. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Starting inside row 6 is going to be Jacob Stewart. Outside row 6 will be James Loveland. Following them, Dylan Smoot. Inside row 7, that's P15. Devin Hudgens is going to start outside him. That was P13. Al Likens is going to start inside row 8. Parker Johnson outside of row 8. Chad Lancaster and Casey Gross make up row number 9. Daryl W. Johnson and Michael Bennett are going to round out row 10.
And of course, in row 11 is going to be Michael Call with Kevin Orlando Jr. company in the number 27 car. Row 12, Chris Nail and Joe Gioia. Apologies on the mispronunciation. Nicholas Schell in row 13 with Nick Alves company for him. In row 17 will belong to Trevor Erhardt, the previous champion, looking to defend his title from a ways back on the grid here tonight. Company for him is going to be Grant Turner. Dustin Reinstolin in row 18 with Travis Gilbert in row 18 as well. Sam Taylor, row 19 with Grant Thorpe. Alongside him, Christopher Schaefer in row 20 with Wade Lowe for company. Of course, there are going to be a few No, 40 drivers here tonight on this grid. That's right. Of course, as we had 45 of them that tried to qualify, as I double check my notes. Yes, over 45 drivers tried to participate through qualifying, and 40 of them did make the final cut. It does seem that we are going to be pacing here. Pace car is going to be out relatively soon. But in the meantime, Morgan, what are we looking for here tonight? I know it's very exciting. I see pace car lights are out, so we don't have much time to talk about it.
Well, we got a full lap at Daytona, and they do not pace quickly here. It's a very long racetrack, 2.5 miles. Steep banking, as we can see. We're exiting turn 2 right now, where it really flattens in a hurry. Goes from, I think, about 30 degrees down to, I forget what the track said, 8 degrees, something like that. And you could wreck at any single part of this racetrack. You're pushing all the time, always in a pack with these restrictor plates on this next-gen car, and this should be quite the show here tonight.
Most certainly. Can see the anticipation. We do have driver cams as well from Trevor Erhardt here tonight, as he is going to be back quite a bit. You can pull him up for a brief second, see the of course, this is where the nerves are going to be the highest at the very, very start. Once you start clumping up and getting ready to get on that hammer, they all disappear as you are in your office. There is the man himself, looking awfully comfortable and relaxed. Also, thank you to everybody in chat as well. It's a very nice seat. But thank you to everyone in chat. I see we got Terry in chat, Shannon as well. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We're getting ready here, pacing for the Coastal Financial 250 here at V-Speed. Do hit that like button, subscribe. It is free here on YouTube, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a beat, as we do have plenty of flag-to-flag coverage here on V-Speed. Driver's going to be trying to get as much under those tires. The pace car is in, though, as we get ready to go green here. Let's start off. As we come to the line here, it looks like McDonald and Robinson fighting for the lead of that race here. You can see the shoving on that inside lane. The overspeed for the outside, trying to take the advantage. The number 1 of Robinson looking awfully strong to begin with. The number 9 of Burns sticking with him currently in that little bump drafting spree. Of course, that is going to be the biggest key. Stay with each other and work with each other. That outside lane, though, has a lot of speed, and you can see it, Morgan. Yeah,
this next-gen car loves running on the top. If you can keep it wound up, if you have a good group up there, you can really make hay on the top side of this racetrack, and that's exactly what Kane McDonald's trying to do right now.
He tries to stick his nose there, get that side draft, slow Robinson down just a little bit, but Matt is unfazed by it so far. You can see as they head into the banking again, though. Chucks it in, the overspeed for the 29. It's so hard to slow that down. Now, are we going to see McDonald here tucked down to the inside lane? It looks like he wants to stay up high here for now.
I would
a little
say
bit of an assist there from Diaz.
You want to stay where the help is, and Diaz pushed him up here. I would imagine he's just going to want to stay right on Diaz's front bumper. A little bit of a not great push there into 3. Checked up the whole line all the way back.
Allowing their number 1 car the slightest bit of opportunity to try to find any window he can. Not able to thus far. Our previous champion, Erhardt, currently looking at where he is in the field. Making up any positions, it seems not really, as I even try to struggle to find him. Down in P21,
here.
so
there he is. He did gain some spots. I believe he started on 27th position. Like driver info here. 32nd position is where that 41 started, and he is rolling in that top lane right now.
Bit of a gap to the pack in front, but just need to work together. They can carry that speed into that little window that they have. Erhardt, of course, a very experienced driver, previous winner here. And once again, of course, I know we were briefly chatting before the stream, Morgan, as it has been Daytona 500 week, and everybody, of course, getting plenty of practice on Daytona. So I'm sure these drivers, this is nothing new for them.
Yeah, if they're anything like me this week, all they did was sit themselves in their sim rig and drive the wheels off of it around Daytona. Myself, I put about 800 laps in my 4 Daytona 500s. I imagine a lot of these drivers ran probably not that many laps, but probably quite a few this past weekend.
Cars sliding there into their positions, trying to find the windows, the people that are going to be friendly to them and the people that are going to be foes. There's going to be that shuffle. So far, the drivers, I will say, have been fairly calm on the 3 wide. Only been seeing quite a bit of 2 wide action, but nothing too out of the ordinary just yet. But of course, with 100 laps on the clock, 250 miles here tonight, we are most certainly going to be seeing it, especially towards the end of the stage. Of course, that'll be around lap 32. Now, if a caution flag does fall after lap 27, that will be the end of the stage. As well, another welcome to a lot of chatters. I see we got Debbie joining us. We have Devin, as well as Luis. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for being here tonight. We appreciate all of you. Hope you all are doing well and enjoying some NASCAR, some virtual NASCAR here from the Coastal Financial 250 here at V-Speed. McDonald so far calmly leading the pack, as you can see there and here as we go. The lovely close-up angle. Outside lane, falling off a little bit. I see some 3 wide in the back. And the second pack also coming in. I will say, Morgan, it's very interesting. You'd mentioned here before that the high line is going to be the favorite, and there's contact, and we are, in fact, wrecking now. Is this going to be the one? No, it doesn't look like. I think the car is getting spewed off. Looks like quite a few cars, at least 4, 5, 6 getting involved, it seems, maybe even a few more. Minor damage for most of those cars, but the caution flag is most certainly coming out after that.
Well, let's have a look. Back 30 seconds here, and let's replay. Can't see who that was who was sideways first. Maybe.
Very hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell with the livery there, covering the number a little bit. But regardless, a few cars getting caught up in there as a result. That is definitely the outcome. The caution came out fairly quickly as well, so mitigating the damage for some of those drivers. Here we get a much better view. Still 20-something maybe. I'm not sure. It's very, very difficult to see the number on that car.
A lot of good cars in there. Dustin Reinstedt was part of that. Here's the 22 machine. Oh, it was Ray Lane. That's where this started. He's got that purple 44 car.
A bit of a domino effect there happening. We saw a few bumpers falling off. Very unfortunate. Yeah, obviously, you hate to see it now. Of course, I think these drivers are allotted one fast repair in this league, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there's one fast repair here tonight. But that is going to start the pit stop phase. Drivers coming in for fuel, it seems.
Yeah, tires don't wear as much here as other racetracks. In fact, I ran my last Daytona 500, all 200 laps, never changed tires. For those of you who know iRacing, my right rear was the worst at 82%. So really not that bad for tire wear here. You get a little bit loose when you're getting pushed, but in a 100-lap race, I might not even take tires in this race if it helps you get track position.
Yeah, now how long for an unfamiliar iRacing novice like myself? Now, how long does a tire change take here in this NASCAR league?
So it'll take you about a full stop, full tank of fuel, and tires will get you about 14 seconds. Now, no tires, and you never run it all the way empty here. You always want to keep a little bit in the tank. Will run you about 12 to 13 seconds. So you're going to save 1 to 2 seconds each stop. Now, these drivers only ran 8 laps under green. Therefore, they have only 8 laps of fuel burned out of there. I believe we have about 22-ish. So that's about a third of a tank, give or take. So they only need to take 4 or 5 seconds of fuel, right? So if you change tires, even just left to right sides, that's going to be about 9 seconds worth. So you just saved 4 seconds by not taking tires. It's really just a math game at this point, and it'll be interesting strategy to see throughout the night. I don't imagine anyone will take 4. It'll just be lefts or rights, or no tires at all.
Very interesting. Thank you, Morgan.
And we are topping off again some drivers. Top 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, all of them. Everyone's coming. Everybody wants that fuel.
So presumably we are going to be green then after this, assuming no cautions fall to the end of this stint. No drivers will be needing to make their pit stop. Awfully comfortable. Lightning McQueen doesn't take tires either.
That's right. No
Great
tires,
point.
just gas.
Great point. And Cody there saying the replay missed all of the wreck with the here for the carnage. Well, Cody had a little bit of carnage here. We're hoping you're gonna have to stay tuned to see a little bit more later. I'm sure come the end of the stint, these drivers will be getting a little bit more rowdy. Now, the pace car lights here are gonna go off, and it will be pulling in on this lap. Now, I think they are on the back stretch here, so it is gonna be a little bit where the iRacing pace car decides to pull on in.
I'll tell you what, Cody, that was not my best work. I'll try and do better for you next time. How's that sound? I can interact with chat too. Okay.
Yes, and as stand by, I'm sure we'll see more. Most certainly. Pace car is in. I'm going to hand the lead over to the number 88 here of Chris Nail. He will be free to unleash that loud pedal at his go once that pace car pulls on in.
They're ready.
The Chapman environmental logo there, environmental services logo, flying proud on the front. The anticipation is crazy. Of course, Daytona. So 2.5 miles. There we are. The pace car peeling in now. Lead handed over. You can see that inside lane is the choice for the drivers, but the outside is our pole sitter, Chris Nail. He takes off and is gone for right now. Caleb Gilbert is going to be following him suit. He needs to stay close, as that outside lane is going to get swamped up fairly quickly if they're not too careful here. 35 car sends it down the inside. Gets a nice little push from the 6. That's going to allow Casey Gross up into the lead of the moment of the race for the moment. The 6 car following suit. That's going to be Jeffrey Israel. Chad Lancaster also trying to do what he can. Everybody, though, so far, fairly tame. You can see the 20 car there trying to make it a little bit 3 wide. I think that's Lancaster having a little think, but thinks better of it. Still 90% of this race to go. Do not want to make a fool of it. Lovely onboard perspective here. It doesn't quite give you the feel, though, of course, as I'm sure, Morgan, you can say, these cars are a bit of a handful at the best of times when you're driving them.
Yeah, all of this movement that you see, this left to right movement, is air buffering. It's not necessarily moving the wheel around. It's, you get behind somebody, there's so much dirty air, especially farther back in the pack, that the car just kind of shakes back and wobbles back and forth, and it's It's not the most fun feeling unless you're that 88 car in the lead right now, because all you feel is clean air and you can do whatever you need to do out there.
Of course, that's where you always want to be, is up front, but it only matters on the last lap. We saw that little bit of a relationship between Gilbert and Nail. They had a good friendship going on, but Gilbert says no more. Takes the inside lane and says, I'm going to be leading this race now. Nice accordion here as they go down to the back straight. That outside lane, there aren't many cars in it, but you can see they're carrying that speed through the corners consistently. Now that's going to be down here to that outside car in the front. Needs to be so careful if they do bleed that speed off. You can see using all of the track. If they do bleed that off, they're going to be falling back quite quickly, and there will be nowhere for them to slot into.
And just listen to this. I don't know if you heard it there. Big lift into the corner, as starting as the third car. You're just trying to not run into the car in front of you and turn him. You don't want to push the pusher. And what that does is it backs up the entire line getting into the corner. You'll see it again here in turn 3. You can almost watch the gap between the 35 and the 6. How it's not going to get much bigger into turn 3. A little smaller, in fact. The 88 and 20 are able to push and gain, or not push, but able to gain a little bit of momentum on the top side because of the checkups on the bottom.
Very interesting here, that inside lane being the favored one here tonight, quite clearly, pretty much from the start as well. Question is that down to fuel saving, or is that down just to grip? It just feels better for the drivers down there, Morgan?
The bottom is a safe place because you can't get past on the bottom. If you're running that yellow line, nobody else can go below it, meaning that you are just going to be fine. You're not going to have to worry about it. Whereas on the top, it's a little bit more difficult to know where the driver behind you is going to go if they're trying to pass you. As well, that yellow line is just a really nice pushing guide for that 35 car behind the 54. You can see exactly where the corner is. The top lane's a little more difficult. All they have is that little seam right where the 6's left front tire is. Let's check it out on the nose cam. That black seam in the middle of the track that he just crossed over, that's the only place that the car behind you can see when you're pushing.
And of course, in the actual Daytona 500, which we saw, well, not previous weekend, on Monday, it was a little bit different story. I think the inside lane was not really used much at all. It was really the middle and the outside lane that were the popular choices. But obviously, the virtual speedways here are a little bit different. And the track conditions is different every single time, I would imagine. So far, though, tight battle between Nail and Lancaster and Israel up at the front, it seems. They're all keeping each other fairly in check here with thousandths between them. Car off to the outside lane there. I'm not sure what happened there. Pit maybe out of sequence.
That could be a car that had a lot of damage and didn't want to use the fast repair. I'm not exactly sure. Is that the 44? That is the 44 car. Looks like his car is pretty much back together. He is currently riding in 39th position.
And a bit of a trek back, or I'm going to need a pace car to catch up. We'll come back into the play here, but we're green, green, green for now. We're diving to the inside lane there. Can be a bit dangerous at times, though, of course, virtual spotter in these games is quite helpful.
It's not a game, it's a simulator.
Simulator, my apologies. I should know better, honestly.
You should know better. It's the cardinal sin.
But it is also, we're all here to have fun at the same time.
Right.
let's be real here. Let's not take it too seriously. But of course, though, one thing I guess we haven't mentioned, this race is to be taken seriously. Of course, there's $100 on the line for the winner. But currently, Lincoln's here. Going to be looking to take that 100 buckaroos home. Of course, USD.
It's like 500 a Canadian.
You see Gross behind. Nice Chevrolet badge there in the front. Gonna give it rubbing a bit of a hole into the bumper there, of course, but not phasing the likes of the 40.
And right now, they're just playing it safe. 20 to go, you won't be able to see the Chevy symbol. It'll be tucked up in the bumper, just like this, all the way around until the temps reach 200, 300 degrees, or 290, 300 degrees, and then then the motor's blowing up. But hopefully get the finish line by then, and that's how you race here.
It looks like lap traffic already getting involved here. Also, I know we saw in chat earlier some Burns fans out there. Unfortunately, I think I just caught a glimpse of his name all the way down in P31, if I'm not mistaken, at least when I last checked. Looks like he's still remaining there. So a bit of work to do for the number 9 here. I don't know if we can we get a side profile of that livery? Is that possible? Like a nice close-ups? Yeah. Of course, I'm not sure you guys will be able to see it. It's very small on there, but of course, he is going to be representing the fallen comrade, of course, Trevor Brown. And there he is himself as well.
A little right rear damage. Didn't hurt him too much, but
catch a glimpse there, right below that number 9. And he's going to be the name there of Trevor Brown. Also, it seems that we have a chat member here. We have Pickle Seinmer. Maybe you could, now that you're not in this race, first off, what are you doing in chat, not in the race? Maybe, is it Pickle Seinmar? Sinmar? I apologize on the mispronunciations. Or is it just, it's Simmer? Pickle Simmer. Now that I'm looking at your name. I think I was told incorrectly. Anyways, regardless, we also have some cheers in chat for Lincolns as well. "22 laps under the cards here." Of course, we have one stage here tonight. Once again, that will fall on lap 32, assuming there is no caution after lap 27. Now, one thing we also have maybe not quite mentioned as of yet, this is the first race of the season in terms of points. Now, of course, we've had previous races in this championship, but those were to, well, set the stage, really. These are going to be the first official championship points that are going to be on the line here. Currently, all of the championship, or the leader of the championship, if the flag was to fall, would go to Al Lincoln's here, driving that Toyota Camry. But of course, that is a long ways to go. And on that stage as well, the top 10 drivers will be receiving an amount of points towards their championship. So after that little break, where we will have a mandatory caution coming back out. Devin also, unfortunately, had to go to New York. And Dylan, let's see, I was supposed to be here. You got Mike Helton. I'm not sure what you mean on that, but welcome, Pickle Seimer. Seimer, thank you. Much appreciated. Welcome, everybody. Sit Down Marks Wrestling. Cheering on the number 22 and the number 42. Caden as well. Welcome, everybody. Got a lot of chatters here tonight. You'll love to see it. Appreciate all of you being here. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Whoa, we have cars diving in now to the pits again. Oh, and looks like dives for positions into pit lane. Maybe some successful ones, smoke being lit up. But as it stands, I thought we were going to be green to the end. It seems we have some drivers backing up into their pit stalls as well. Not sure who that was, but very unfortunate there. The lead not changing hands, but it seems there has been a bit of a shakeup, Morgan.
Yeah, this is green flag pit stop time, obviously. We are about 6 laps until the end of the stage. But you can only make it about 23 laps on fuel, and we pitted not terribly long ago. You couldn't quite make it to the end, no reason to stretch it. So you come to pit road right now. Only one car is not pitted so far, and it is that 40 car of Al Likens. As Tay McDonald just brought it down. This is going to be interesting to see where everybody stacks back up and comes out of pit road here. Let's follow our leader. Let's see what we got.
Holloway going to be benefiting quite a bit here. Orlando as well. Still green flag running, though. Likens does need to make a stop. But if there was a caution flag at this stage that was to fall, the stage would end. So Likens going to be hoping for that, I would imagine, or just hoping to make it to the very end. But it seems as though they've put enough fuel into this car to make it to the end of the stage. Now, whether or not that remains true, we'll see.
I'd be hesitant about that just because of how many laps he led. When you're leading, you're burning more fuel because there's nobody to protect you from the air. You're cutting the air for everybody else. He's saving right here, not now if he's running the top, but I don't think he can quite make it. I think he's going to be a little bit short. We'll find out. Been wrong before.
Rich also cheering on his buddies number 10, 20, and 35. That's going to be Fike, as well as, let's go through the names. So many names here tonight. You love to see it. Such a good championship that we have here for the Racing Revolution. And there is Casey there, currently in P17, started in P17. Chad also to be in P14. Now Johnson has found the back bumper of Likens.
So
now,
to speak.
Is that... yeah, yes.
It's about 5.5 seconds back, 5.25 seconds back. So Likens is entering turn 1. Sorry, Johnson's entering turn 1. Likens is exiting turn 2. So that's how big the gap is. Likens in this little group of cars kind of caught a break there. The next car is Erhardt, who is exiting turn 4. So about a half a lap down, a little over half a lap down. And this pack would be your leader, your lead pack, once the top 2 pit. So this is very much your battle for the lead, battle for the end of the stage, assuming Likens and Johnson have to pit. There's Likens coming right now. How about Johnson? And Johnson's coming as well. So let's
Now that...
have a look here.
That's interesting.
Let's hop on Erhardt and let's see how this looks coming out of the pits.
This is going to be the unofficial white flag for the stage. So those drivers going to be trying to get back out on the track, put 1 liter of fuel, is saying, oh, but it looks like they are going to get swamped up. At least that, of course, that was Johnston. Looking now at, oh, Likens is going to get eaten up in the pack as well. So at the end of this stage, it looks like Erhardt is going to be taking home the championship points. He played this superb. Started back in P31, if I'm not mistaken. Or is he? McDonald trying to say something about it at the last possible moment. Needs that helping hand from Alves behind. Going to be a photo finish to the end, it looks like here. Coming through the banking for the last little bit.
Ooh, that was close.
Side by
I
side.
think Erhardt got him. But looks like we are still green.
We must-
One more lap
okay, we
until the
must
end of
have-
the stage.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I guess we have to complete lap 32 here, and then we will be going yellow.
Boy, that would have been a photo finish, though, wouldn't it?
Yes, it most certainly would have. The 26 car giving that helping hand there to Diaz. Is it going to be enough? Diaz gets loose, though. That's going to allow the 41 to carry that momentum. You can see him pushing that pack and grouping it up. That's going to cause a little bit of chaos, as you can see everybody squirming every which way. Erhardt closes the inside line, comes to the end of the line there. I'm not sure who got the stage finish. It looks like Erhardt did take it over McDonald, but we're still green. No, we're not. There we are, yellow. Okay.
There's the man himself. Nice work on the 41 machine. Bring home that stage. Well, we'll re-rack him and do it again.
Indeed. Now, some drivers, I'm sure, are going to be coming into the pits, trying to get those crucial stage points towards their championship.
I would think everyone would be in here. There's really no reason not to. This is the only caution you know is going to happen in this race. You don't know what's coming in the future. You want to set yourself up for success, grab your 22 to 23 laps of fuel right now, and then we'll see you around halfway when you pit next time, barring no yellows.
Gotta say, that's a bit of an awkward strategy call there for Likens, as he has pit 2 laps previous and have to be coming in immediately afterwards. Don't think that's quite how he drew it up on the chalkboard before the race, but he was leading. Can't take that away from him.
So Lycan's strategy is an interesting one because his plan was to run it long, spend the least amount of time on pit road, and it may have worked for him. The unfortunate part is he was caught up in a slower pack. The first and second place cars in that pack had damage. Can't quite go as fast, not quite as organized as this pack that ended up winning the stage. But it was a good strategy nonetheless. As well, he could stay out because he'd only be about 2 laps short on fuel. Everyone else, though, being 5, 6, 7 laps since they last pit, might as well come down again. And I imagine you'll see a land rush into pit road right here.
One car electing to stay out.
That was a lap car, the 44.
Ah, okay. Well, they have already come in. But there is the pit lane. Engineers and the pit crew's going to be scattering every which way. Drivers taking tires, it seems. Like taking lefts. Or rights, excuse me.
It'll say some 4-tire stops. This is, if you're going to take it, this is the time. Because, again, you don't know if you're getting another caution, and you have a long time to dig out of whatever hole you put yourself in here. If you decide to take 4 tires and you end up falling back into the 20s or 30s, you can make it up in 65 laps, whereas you probably wouldn't be able to make it up in 10 laps.
Now, of course, pace car laps do count. It's 2.5 miles here, though, so the laps are quite long. Of course, this track absolutely rife with history, founded back in 1959, but of course, as Morgan, I'm sure, can talk a little bit more about the history, not just of Daytona, this necessarily track, but just the whole of the area. Morgan, take it away.
We might be able to see it here from the nose of this leader. You can't quite see the hotel off of turn 3 and 4, but that, if I'm not mistaken, is where NASCAR was born. You can't see it from here, unfortunately. Maybe on Scenic, that's for another time. NASCAR was born in Daytona Beach in 1947 in December. They ran their first race in 1949, and one of those was here. Not at the Speedway. It wasn't built until 1959, as Mike said. It was raced on the beach and the surrounding highway, little road course. And that was where some of the first NASCAR races were ran. It was right here at Daytona Beach.
With some just amazing cars as well, of course.
Yeah, bottom off the showroom
bathtubs.
floor. Yeah.
Bathtubs full of gasoline if you want to be generous.
That is pretty generous. Took the boats out of the water and put them on land.
Yeah, pretty much. And then decided to use some trees for the barriers. Turns out, yeah, they're very good at stopping cars, but they're also very good at stopping other things, unfortunately. But that is neither here nor there. Pace car lights are out. We're here in modern Daytona, modern virtual Daytona. The Coastal Financial 250, the pace car lights we're going to be seeing come in this lap. Grant Turner will take the lead of this race as we have ended stint 2, or stint 1, excuse me. Moving on to stint 2, our final stint. See the pack eagerly awaiting the car that just has come out of the pits, trying to rejoin as well. Once again, welcome everybody to V-Speed. Hope everyone is enjoying the Coastal Financial 250, the Racing Revolution Series environmental, Chapman Environmental Services as well. Thank you to all of them. Pace car will be pulling in after this corner. We got some cheers in chat from Peyton for the number 77. This car is in, though.
Shot. There we go.
That's all right. And Grant will take the lead of this race. Matt Robinson a bit slow off the gun there, it seems, is going to allow Justice Murphy to potentially get involved here. But also the 39 car is just not such a stellar start. They're going to be put right back in check pretty quick. Of course, the momentum there being caught back. Side by side, you're going to see if we can send it 3 wide into the banking here. Surprised we didn't see too much of that at the end of the last stint. Are we going to see it at the beginning here? Seems like no, the driver's fairly calm. Very calm. There we are. We see a think there at least from, I think that was John Pike. Ooh, weaving every which way. That's the air that Morgan was mentioning earlier, unsettling these cars. And also the driver is just trying to find a gap. Grant Thorpe here with a very congested view. Got a bit of work to do ahead of him here for the number 77. Started in P37 though, in P29, nothing to shake a stick at. Let's see, just being fairly, fair, yeah, you can shake a stick at it if you would like, but it's nothing to not. 3 wide in the back there. Just for but a moment, the drivers settling themselves fairly easily. You can see there that, I think it's John Fike. He wants to go for something here. He wants to take the lead of this race, but he just doesn't quite see that moment. Big shove there. Trying to catch the number 12 and get by at least, well, not the number 12, but the number 1, excuse me. That aloe liveried Mustang leading the race. Camaro currently battling for it. Also, the Hershey's Kisses car. Can't forget that. Request as well from chat to show some positions.
Oh, of course.
There we go.
Chat, you're so smart.
Thank you, Mike Johnston. Appreciate you keeping us honest here. Turner feeling the heat, the Hot Wheels. You see the wheels, of course, on that right-hand side going to be heating up, but not a concern at this moment. We're only a few laps into the stage here. There's still over half the race to go. Ooh, the 92 is wide and is going to be making contact and around. It seems this might be the big one. Cars disappearing into the distance, and there is wreck, chaos, and carnage throughout the field. I think multiple cars involved here.
They are still
caution
green,
flag
however.
still not out yet.
That is surprising. There's caution out. Okay. So the 92 was at the beginning of it. Let's go back and have a look-see.
Looked like a bump draft gone wrong.
Farther back.
As that is the that's the gone wrong part of it. And here we are about to see the bump draft. Maybe not. No, looks like the car maybe just got loose on him. The 92 car, keep an eye there. The red monster. So far, there is the car just trying to move to a lane in which was congested, or did the car get loose there? Hard to tell.
I would say that he moved up a little bit. Tate McDonald went down a little bit, and they met in the middle. A little bit of net code, but nothing too crazy. And unfortunately, you have like probably, there's 3 cars parked right there, but I think there was probably 8 or 9 cars involved in that incident. Unfortunate. Hopefully they haven't used their fast repairs quite yet. We'll see here in a few moments.
Grant Turner, unfazed, of course, by that. As that is where he is in the position that you want to be most, of course, for when a wreck happens, in the very, very front, where you do not have to worry about it.
And this stop comes at a good time. Gets you with about 2 stops left to make it to the end. It was on the edge before. Now we are firmly in a window. That is good news for all these drivers. Obviously, you don't want the big one to be the reason why you can make it on fuel. The big one is never fun to be a part of. I've been there, done that a few times, that's for sure. And no tires once again for the 39 car.
And Luis in chat asking if Grant was involved in that. It does look like Grant was not, or excuse me, not Grant, my apologies. The number 22 car, who, are they also named Grant? I don't think, but the 22 car, no, I do not think that they were involved. I think they managed to make it out of that unscathed.
Maybe a little damage, but I don't see anything that would make that car undrivable, so I'm going to lean towards probably not.
They also, I think, gained quite a few positions as a result, so coming out of it fairly well, just taking some tires, great livery as well.
Now 26th position, 24th position, gaining spots even still. So I don't believe they were in it. Here we are.
And Chauncey, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Chauncey in chat, welcome. Cheering on the 22 as well. Apologies if I do mispronounce that. Please let me know. As the caution here on lap 43 continues on. Very close. I was correct. Awesome. Thank you. Always like to pronounce names as properly or as incorrectly correct as I can. More cheers for Travis, as well as the number 29 car.
Was definitely involved in that. We saw him. He was at the not the catalyst. He was at the ignition of that incident. But that car looks freshly repaired. I don't know if there was a fast repair involved or not. But Tay McDonald continues to roll on, although in 33rd position.
As well as the 39 getting some cheers. You love to see it. Who's your favorite drivers out there, chat? Please let us know. We love to hear your shouts, and they love to see it afterwards. Of course, a lot of these drivers watching it, I know, after the fact, they all see it, they all hear it, and they love it. Was car 9 Jeremy Burns involved? I do not think Jeremy was involved, but it's hard to tell at this stage who was and wasn't. There's quite a few cars.
Don't believe the 9 was involved, as he is up to 16th position.
Also from Travis's niece and nephew, Macy Taylor, showing them a little bit of love. And to the second favorite driver, Tay McDonald, I'm sure he would appreciate that as well. Love for Jeremy Burns. Welcome, welcome everybody. The green flag about to go into the air. The pace car is in. Lancaster on pole position. Matt Robinson next to him as we go green, green, green once again on this restart. Coastal Financial 250, lap 44 here. Lancaster immediately off to a solid start. Robinson, though, will be getting pushed onto the outside. Drivers getting a little bit more racy as we go on here. You can tell, weaving every which way are some of the drivers in that mid-pack. That's where things can get dangerous. So far, we've seen a couple caution flags, 2 of them that were caused by incident. Alves now taking the lead. We have Forget Burabeau as well involved in that front-running pack. Big dart to the inside there from Alves. Covers off the likes there of Robbins. Allows, though, that 19 car, that's Bourbeau on the outside, carrying that speed, that outside line. You're just able to carry so much more speed onto the super straight. Big weaving as well. And it looks like Bourbeau and Keith take that inside lane. Look for some drivers to climb the field. A big bump there. Some cheers for Aunt Belinda towards Jeremy in chat. You love to see it. Thank you, everybody. Travis Gilbert, Luis Taylor cheering on. And Tay and Ray. That's cool. Thank you. Bourbeau leading, though, on lap 47 here. Takes the outside lane again. A little indecisive, it seems. Just feeling that lead. Now Morgan, if you were in Bourbeau's position here, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind here as you're approaching that halfway mark?
Push me, 44, push me. Because otherwise that top lane just goes backwards. But everyone's kind of content to ride right now. You want to start setting yourself up for a run to the end, but you don't want to do anything that's going to take you out of it right now. So I would be picking a lane where it's the top and the bottom. Looks like it's the top for that 19 car, and just run the top until 25 to go. Next pit stop whenever something has to change, and then do your pit stop and get back out there. Do what you got to do.
Lane seemingly complying for right now, giving that helping hand to Burbo. But for how long? That is a question. 21 car of Holloway also involved here. We saw Holloway leading at the restart. Dips to the inside there, trying to get anything of it. Has a nice little shove from the car behind. Big send to the inside lane there. Sees the gap and takes it. I think that was Johnston in the 48. Yes, it was. Burbo again changes lanes, now asking for the assistance from the Kisses. And Johnston happy to comply. As we approach, though, the lap 50 here, of course, we have our top 10, the halfway mark of the Coastal Financial 250. We have Burbo leading the race with Holloway in P2, Johnston in third, Lane in the triple four, or in the double four in P4. We have Ryan still in, apologies for the mispronunciation, in P6 now, battling with Johnston. Lincoln's in 8/7th with Keith. Alves battling for 9th/10th with Robinson. They are 2x2 Noah's Ark formation here on lap 51, and nobody is giving that up. And D'Arcus cheering on Tay and Travis. Previous teammate, or no, not previous, they current teammates in a different league. Cheering them on for that $100 here tonight. $100 on the line for this race, as well as a handful of points towards the championship, which of course is the bigger picture later on down the line. Oh, and there is some contact in the back there. Cars sideways, 3 or 4 of them getting involved. Big damage picked up on the front end of that silver, looks like Mustang. And the 26 car is left stranded the wrong way, with it looks like front left suspension damage. Let's catch a replay of that here as we come through the banking. 26 car, the one to keep an eye on here. Ooh, tries to avoid. Now, what was that, Morgan?
Well, that to me, I put on my detective hat, looked like a big checkup on the inside line. I can't see who that car, the 89, possibly. Let's get a gyro here. So 89 looks like he got tagged from behind trying to check up for that and got sent left, which is what happens when you get hit too hard. The car immediately jerks left. Unfortunately, left was right into the corner panel of the 26 car, and around he goes. One more look at it here. 18 maybe gave him a shot. See it right here. That's for sure what happened. The 18 caught him a little off center, and it caused the 89 to get into the 26. 26 has been spun around, sitting on the backstretch. Pretty heavy damage to the it's like the right side of that machine. Left side looks pretty good.
So we have a couple updates from chat. First off, Luis, thank you. Jessica cheering on the number 19 and the number 1, 14, and 24. Now, we have a question from chat. Now, this is one Shane and I can't answer it. However, Morgan doesn't have the ability to read chat. So I can ask him this question.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Morgan, a history question for you here.
Okay.
Who was the first NASCAR driver to go into Lake Lloyd at Daytona?
Oh, that is a great question. I should know that answer, but I actually don't know that answer. So chat, why don't you enlighten me? See if I can learn a little something today.
Does the name Poston or Poston, does that ring a bell?
Does not. Does not ring a
Wait,
bell.
hold on. Hold on. Is that who's in chat? No, that's who's in chat. What am I talking about?
I do not know Poston, no.
You know the answer.
Welcome.
Chat, who knows it?
Welcome, Poston.
Welcome, Belinda. My apologies. You're not a NASCAR racing driver that drove into a lake.
Not that we're aware of. Not that we're aware of, but...
No, I had to put that... Once I read it out loud, it made more sense to me. But it is Tommy Irwin.
Tommy Irwin. Yeah, I am not familiar with Tommy Irwin.
See, now, Chad, I get a forgiven on that one because I'm a circuit fan. So ask me Formula One questions. I'll know that one. But NASCAR, not quite my forte when it comes to historical knowledge.
Here we are under caution, just past halfway. Let's keep those questions coming, chat.
Of course, everybody, like I said earlier, coming off the high of the Daytona 500 in general. Quite the Daytona 500. We won't talk too much about it for anybody, and we won't be spoiling anything either for anyone who hasn't watched it. But if you haven't watched it, do go check the highlights out because it was a good'un. I assure you that. And also, apparently, it happened in 1960, by the way. Tommy Irwin did drive into a lake.
Do you know what lake they're talking about by chance?
No, I don't know what lake they're talking about.
Let me show you. Let's go to the blimp camera
lights are
here.
out. Oh,
Yeah.
we just began a lap, though. So
We will
got
see
time.
it on the back stretch. Can't quite see it from here, but just wait till they get to the back stretch. You'll see it. You'll see the lake they're talking about. You would think it's on the right side of the racetrack, right outside the speedway. Well, you would be wrong, Mr. Circuit Racer Mike. It's called Lake... I forget actually what it's called now. Lake Lloyd?
Lake Lloyd?
Lake Lloyd, I think,
Yeah,
right?
Lake Lloyd.
There's a
You
lake
got it
up
right.
here
You're
in
correct.
Canada called Lake Louise that I didn't want to say. Lake Lloyd, it's actually behind the camera right now, unfortunately. We get a drone cam on. There it is. You can see it at the
there it
bottom of the
is.
screen here. So you're probably wondering, why is there a big lake in the middle of Daytona International? It's not like a golf course in Indianapolis or anything else like that. They did not have all the technology required to build a state-of-the-art racetrack in 1959, as you can imagine. So they needed sand to build up the banking they're going into in Turn 3, as well as Turn 1 and 2 and the tri-oval. So what did they do? They dug a big hole. And what did they do to fill it? They put water in it. And Lake Lloyd was born, which you can often
Fair
see
enough.
fans water skiing and doing whatever you do in Lake Lloyd. Boating, tubing, all that fun stuff. While the race happens sometimes, you'll often get a shot of it on the various broadcasts.
Excellent. The more you know. Thank you very much, chat, as informing, like I say, the circuit racer like myself. But the pace car is pulling in as we speak. Holloway will be taking the lead of this race. The green flag to be waved. And we go green, green, green as the caution falls from lap 55. Immediately, Holloway is gone. So, and we are crashing again immediately, it looks like. Pace car not even able to make a full stop in pit lane. And lap 56, we're back under yellow. See if we can pull up a replay of that. As this is going to be from the race restart even. Didn't take long, so keep an eye open here. Big bumping already. Bumping, shoving, and banging. Looks like a false start from somebody. which caused a little bit of havoc.
So let's, I think I know what happened here. I think I know the culprit. I believe it's the 20 car. Let's go on board with the 20. And let's just listen. Exactly what I thought. That's what a mischief sounds like, folks. And it checked up that outside line. The last 2 or 3 cars didn't know it was coming. And all of a sudden, not whole field, but a couple cars are involved in an accident, and there's a 91 sliding through the grass. 26 looks like he avoided it. He was chalking on the field after that caution. But that is what happens when you miss a shift at Daytona, or on any restart, really.
Well, thankfully, nobody joining where Tommy was. Tommy, another update. His car's 14 feet underwater when they got it out. That's a deep lake. I mean, it's a shallowish lake, but also that's a deep lake considering it's in the middle of a racing circuit.
If I had a good shot of it, it's a huge rectangle. I don't have a good shot of it on cams here. But yeah, it's a massive, massive area that lake covers, and at 14 feet deep, that's a lot of volume. I'm surprised it took a full year because they started racing here in 59, so first caution in 60 does surprise me a little bit. Or first, not caution, first car in the lake in 60 does surprise me a little bit.
I mean, that's just kind of like the Murphy's Law. If something can happen, it will happen. And when you put a lake in a racing circuit and don't properly protect it, well, I guess that's what happens.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he was okay by the sounds of it. As DeSwamp also kind of questioning is could he swim?
Well, now we're getting a little grim, chat. Let's turn this thing around.
I mean, I'm curious. Did he live? I mean, now, like we brought it up.
That we did.
I'm assuming that's a no by the somberness. My apologies. Thought he made it. And also Chauncey bringing up that they used to live near IMS. IMS, that's going to be Indy, I would imagine.
I would imagine you are correct.
Because considering they're talking about F1, that is the only F1 track that I could think of that would be that in the United States. Yeah, F1 raced at Indy a long time ago. Obviously, any F1 fans know what happened to that deal, as well as the Michelin deal, or Bridgestone, correct? My apologies, Michelin. And he did make it. We're all good, chat. See, he
Good.
lived.
Okay.
It wasn't somber.
Good.
Yeah, he's all good. He passed away last year. What a story, though. Yeah, I drove my car into a lake in Daytona, and I lived.
This racetrack has seen some pretty crazy things. Obviously, cars driving in the lake. There's a big fight down in turn 3. Drivers are that chat's probably aware of. If you haven't, when the stream is over, go have a look on YouTube for the 1979 Daytona 500 finish. As well, there was, many things have happened here. Wreck coming to the finish line in the 1976 Daytona 500, I believe. Petty Pearson, I think.
It just happened a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Lots of good finishes and good moments. Somber moments have happened at this racetrack. This is a land of history, Daytona International.
Most certainly is, and we're gonna have, I'm hoping, a solid as a finish there tonight. Hopefully no crashes at the finish, but we have 40 laps to find out. The pace car lights are out and will be pulling in this lap. And the drivers will be back to resume. And Eddie Smith in chat asking who we are. Well, I'm Mike Noss, and joined with me tonight is Morgan Cook.
We are V-Speed.
Jessica, please correct me. I would appreciate if you correct me, because I figured that I wasn't saying that one correct. I just don't have any idea otherwise. My French is terrible. And I apologize. But as we have it, the 49 car, Daryl Johnson takes the lead with Burbo next to him. Lincoln's behind. The pace car is in. Johnson is now the leader of this pack and approaches that line, and we go green, green, green again here. Very quick start there for the 49 and off to a very sprightly one at that. That's going to allow Burbo actually quite far behind. He had a decent run, getting a nice shove though from the 53 of Raider. Baruba. My apologies. Correct me, is that better? Regardless, Baruba is walking away. Raider trying to keep with him. A little pack of three up at the front. Robinson joining him. Raider trying to see what he can do, but working right now with Baruba. Apologies if I slip back into old habits on that one. I'll work on it, I promise.
Tell business is picking up, because the 53 is pushing a little deeper into the corners than drivers used to. Almost pushing down the tri-oval. You can tell we're getting down to the nitty-gritty in this race, 60% of the way through it. And pushes are only going to get longer, and they're only going to get harder as we're 3 wide. Travis Gilbert putting a move on the 6 car.
6 car very deep. That was Israel, a driver that I actually was to mention. And seems as though something has gone wrong here. Fallen to the outside, not able to find a gap back into traffic either. He's going to fall pretty much all the way to the back of this pack.
That's why drivers love the bottom, because somebody can't just turn left underneath you and shuffle you all the way out, where you have to fall back into the 20s. The 6 car was in the top 5, now running P20. That's how quickly things change in Daytona. How quickly your race can go from great to less than stellar.
Still not over yet. Plenty of time to make it up. We also have Dennis Faircloth in chat, who has painted the top 4 liveries. Great work. Gotta say, they are some stunners up in this entirety of this race. I gotta say, some beautiful liveries. Lots of work being put in. It's always amazing to see. I think Raider representing the Chapman Environmental Services on the front end, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. Robert Raider started in P3, currently in P2. Looking to change that, though. Hopefully for one more position forward. Cars walking to the outside there. I think that might be Berger? Is that who that is?
Gilbert.
I can tell. Gilbert. Travis Gilbert here trying to take that outside. Gets Down the inside, the 36 car. That's Berger. Sticking with it, though. Onto the super straight. And a bit of blocking, or a bit of a lane change. Not really blocking, my apologies. Massive overspeed, though. It's a great slipstream off the 24. Goes for the side draft there. Travis Gilbert. He is hoping and praying that the car behind is going to help out here, as there's nobody in front of him to punch a hole in the air. Of course, these NASCARs, these next-gen NASCARs, they aren't the most aerodynamic. They do have a good amount of aero. In fact, Morgan, are these ones, are they running splitters on these ones?
There is a splitter. There's also a rear diffuser. We'll see it right here.
Okay.
You can see it down at the front of the nose. On the back of that 22 car, you can see a little rear diffuser. A lot of rear downforce in these cars. Also very wide tires. Not quite as wide as your beloved F1 tires, but they're quite a bit wider than the Xfinity and truck tires. That is definitely the wrong camera. And interesting watching the draft here, because the third car in line is the most important car in line. You want to push, which is what the 53 and the 44 have been doing to their respective lines. But as that second car, you can't get there unless the car on your back bumper, in this case the 39 or the 1, are close enough to propel you forward to break the bubble, if you will, behind the lead car. It's like a basketball, beach ball, whatever you want to call it. But it will compress and it'll expand just based on the runs, and you need a car to help you break it so you can lock onto the rear bumper and drive down the straightaway, like the 22 at 44 trying to do right here. They get locked on, and they gain a little bit of speed.
Now, of course, these cars are very, very punchy, but when you combine two of their engines together, in a way, obviously with the bump drafts, it's very helpful. It can give quite the advantage. In fact, a necessary advantage when you stay in the running. Of course, as well, these cars loads of horsepower and even more torque. Pretty sure these cars have enough torque to pull down an ancient building, but of course, they most certainly have enough torque to, as well, if you give it a little bit too much right foot, your car will not be facing the correct direction at the wrong time, and it looks like we're seeing potentially a little bit of that here. Lots of cars getting involved in that, and the caution out immediately. 5 or 6, maybe even 8 or 9 cars collected in that. A rejoin was very questionable, but everybody staying safe. Here is the replay.
I believe it started with this 36 car. We'll find out here. 36 car is Christopher Berger, who was running up in the top few positions here. Just kind of an awkward push and tried to come back up in front of, I believe that's the 10, and hooked him into the 27. And then obviously from here, you're just trying to avoid the incident. And a lot of drivers did a pretty good job of that. Let's ride on with, I believe it was the 10 of John Fike. It absolutely was. Let's ride on board with him. See what we can find.
Keeping an eye out here on the exit of this corner. You can see, check up. He places his car. He places his nose there because he pretty much had to be completely honest. But just not quite expecting that difference in speed. Now, Morgan, what do you make of that as a more experienced NASCAR, not judge, but viewer?
Yeah, so what happened there was just coming off the corner, car probably got a little tight based on not taking tires or whichever tires they took. And then the draft would taken all the front downforce away. So car gets a little tight off the corner. You don't want to slide all the way up into the top lane, so you shoot down to the bottom instead, and then trying to get back up in front of the 10. 10 kind of filled the hole, not blaming anybody there. All of a sudden, you are turned sideways into the 27, and the rest of the field is trying to avoid you.
And unfortunately, the rest of the field did not avoid him, and we saw multiple cars involved. This is going to be a free pit stop, though, for pretty much everybody that wasn't involved. Happily coming in, we see some tires being changed, cars getting lifted up, but every driver taking on that precious, precious fuel which they need to make to the very end.
And chat, if you're paying attention, you cannot make it to the end from here. You are going to be at least 8 laps short on fuel. So you will either have to save, a la Daytona 500, not a spoiler, or you're going to have to come down pit road one more time. 8 laps, saving in 30 is not likely, so you're going to have to come down to pit road, whether it be under caution or under green, which could shake up this field even more. So, Mike, you ever raced on the high banks of Daytona?
I've never raced on the oval version of Daytona, no. I have raced on the actual road course multiple times. Very, very fun course. But I have never done oval racing really here. Not actually an experienced oval. Well, I guess in the sim, I'm not much of an experienced oval racer. I grew up flat tracking, which is obviously a little bit different. Quite different, in fact. But, you know, that was my little forte as a kid.
Right on. Right on. Well, in these races at Daytona, as they're doing the choose rule right now, below the yellow is the inside, above the yellow is the outside. The goal for all these drivers is after the last pit stop, which has not happened yet, as I alluded to, you want to be in the top 10. You want to be attached to that lead group. You want to be in the lead draft, preferably in the top 10. And that gives you the best shot at being here at the end. If it goes green and there's a second pack, you're going to have trouble catching up more than likely. You just want to be connected to the leaders so that you can make something happen. It's very important that you're at least in touch with the people up at the front of the field. And we'll see how that goes here sometime this next 30 laps.
Indeed. And a little mention in chat, somebody very excited for Atlanta coming up. I am as well. Of course, not only do we have the real NASCAR heading there, this calendar that we're watching, the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, of course, follows that calendar. And we are going to be heading there February 28th at 8:30 p.m. here at V-Speed. So do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to make sure you don't miss a beat here, as we have plenty of flag-to-flag coverage to cover. As we said, next week being at Atlanta. I was just down there not too long ago and actually saw that circuit, so that was pretty cool. Didn't go for any motorsports, but very nice city. I enjoyed Atlanta a lot.
That's a place on the bucket list. I've never been. Atlanta is near the top of the cities I want to visit. I believe the fall race, or summer race, whatever you want to call it, at Atlanta is turning out to be one of the hottest tickets in NASCAR. Not quite replacing the Bristol Night Race, but I believe it's getting up there in terms of people wanting to see it. So I'd like to experience that myself.
I'd love to go down there for a NASCAR race. Well, here we have it, though. Green flag about to be waved back in the air. We have Robert Rader and P1, Grant Turner in second. We go green, green, green once again. Robert Rader going to be taking to the storming start, dominating there by a 10th over the competition. Turner immediately pressured to take him to that outside line. He started on the inside. Continuing on through the banking, everybody being fairly respectable in the front. You can see that very large gap, and unfortunately, I'm not sure who that was, got very stranded though to the outside. I think they wanted to take the inside. They have the 14 car making it in. Everybody tucked into that inside lane here very early on, not even wanting anything to do with the out. And I can see why at this moment these drivers are going backwards. Trevor Erhardt, our previous race winner from last season, currently sitting in P16. Started in P32. Half the positions he needs to make up, well, another half.
And notice just how little he can see right now. You can see a little bit in the corners, but down the straightaway, you have absolutely no idea what's going on in front of you until you see smoke or you get to a corner.
Very low to the ground cars, very low visibility. Really relying on your spotter as well, of course. Side-by-side action there. Bit of a gap forming at the very front, though. But once again, as you approach that straight, quickly close. Yeah, that's going to lose a lot of momentum there. Big shove into the corner. Gilbert getting caught up here. I think that's Ryan Lane in front of him. This car's looking awfully racy here, Morgan.
This is positioning time. This is where you want to be as close to the front as you can without doing anything to hurt your car, obviously. But you want to be up here so that if the caution comes out, you get on pit road first, off pit road first, and then all you got to do is defend. It is much harder to drive up through this field than it is to defend from the top 5 positions.
And Chauncey saying that next time in Atlanta will be Heirloom Market Barbecue. I went to the Vortex when I was in Atlanta. The place was pretty good, I gotta say. Would recommend the food there. And we have so much love in chat for Burns as well as Carter. Burns trying to make up his ground. He hasn't had much luck, though. Jeremy Burns started on pole position, currently in P7. Fell down quite a bit in this race, but coming back into it at the very end, can he make it up? Ooh, the Mustang wanting to send it 3 wide, thinks better of it. I gotta say, has driven a stellar race. Bit of an alternate strategy for Lincoln's throughout the entirety of this, but it's seemingly paying fruition. Now, the question is he going to need to make a stop out of sequence from the rest of the field?
I don't believe so. Looks like he pitted with the rest of the field about 8 laps ago. There's a big wreck behind him, though.
Oh my goodness. Yes, there is multiple cars involved. And that's Keith, it looks like, that was involved there. Is that Burns? The number 6 car? The number 9 car is Burns, of course. Involved. Burns is safe.
6 of Israel's involved.
Got the numbers flipped in my brain.
Well, that's an easy thing to do. Let's have a replay. Look at that. 3 wide for the 6. No, this is where it starts. Cuts into the side of the 22, into the 66. And from there, it's just try and avoid it the best you can. There's many cars having issues here. Let's have a look at a blimp view, see if we can see more of the racetrack here. Another shot at it coming out of green 4. Let's see how this starts. He's 4th car in line, big run behind him. And I think he means to go block it, but doesn't realize where the 19 is. Gets put 3 wide, and then is just trying to find a hole. Misjudges a little bit, and we got cars bouncing off each other. There's some down to the inside. 14 gets tagged. Big hit for the 18 and the 15. That's going to be a probably day ender for those cars. That's how fast Daytona crashes happen.
80% of the race complete, and the caution is back out. Safety car, or the pace car driver, getting his money's worth today. And Tay getting involved in that, it seems. Yeah. Oh no, Tay McDonald not getting involved in that in P10. Is there any damage picked up there for the number 10 car?
A little scrape on the left front. I don't think that's going to hurt him too bad. This car looks fairly clean. A little bit on the left rear as well. A little left side damage, but nothing that's going to destroy your race. You can win here with a lot of damage on that race car. These cars are pretty tough as well.
And Travis also living through that one. Cars through the pits. This should be the final pit stop.
Yes, this will get you to the end, so long as you stay in the draft. But this is just what the drivers at the front of the field were hoping for. This pit stop with 20 to go. No insurance for new white checkers, so that could be an interesting situation, but here we go. There's a car spun, missed his pit. That is the 15. Not exactly sure what happened there. Let's got hit by the 20. Let's replay that one.
We're sticking to the left side.
There's lots of cars hitting other cars here. Oh, he turned down on, I don't know who that was, the 24, I believe, of Alves. And got spun to the outside and then has to wait for all the traffic to go by. Just got hit by the 20. In fact, he never did make a pit stop, so he's going to have to come back down pit road. That is an unfortunate break for the 15 car.
It really is. Bit of a misjudgment through pit lane. Cost him, that's for sure.
And it's so easy to do.
You can see here, Turner is eager to get underway. Having a little wave, a little chat with the pace car driver. But awfully comfortable. There's the man. Started in P33, up into P1. That would be quite the finish if the checkered flag was to fall this lap. Now, of course, that is not going to happen. We still have 19 laps here, about probably 18, 17 laps of green flag racing.
If it goes green to the end, of course.
Which it obviously will, right?
Of course. I have no doubts. No doubts at all. So, chat that I can't see, what you got? 39 starting front row inside, 22 on his outside. 53's been up here all day, save for that first incident on lap 8 or so. And then the 44 was the incident on lap 8 or so. What you got? Holsters in 5th. Cream is rising right now from what I know about this league. I guess we will find out here about 30 seconds.
Devin cheering on for his good buddy Turner. It seems like we got a lot of Turner cheering in chat from the previous messages that we've seen. Excuse me, Travis as well. There's a lot of love overall for everybody in the front, actually. Super cool to see. Thank you all so much for being so supportive for your drivers. Like I said, they all appreciate it. We appreciate it. Likens we got here supported as well.
Let's watch Mr. Turner Grant Turner, the 39 car, starting this race, or starting this restart from the pole, or from first, I suppose, not the pole. Let's watch him, see what he sees, and see how he reacts on this restart.
The HyperX Quadcast, great microphone as well. And a little salute and a cheer. Here we go. The pace car is in. Grant Turner is dialed, ready to go. We're going to watch him firsthand here as we get ready to go. Green, green, green for the race restart. And it's a pretty stellar one there at that for Grant Turner. Immediately takes the lead and is unfazed. Side-by-side action behind. He's going to be keeping a close eye on that rearview mirror. But for right now, it's all about pedal to the metal. Keep that hammer down. Should be no fuel saving all the way to the end.
No, you're driving it like you stole it right now.
Three wide through the banking. The 44 car is falling backwards right now. The 34 car, that's going to be Wade rejoining. We're almost 4 wide here as it's not enough room for all the amount of cars that want to go side by side. Keeping it on though through the banking. That's for P6 it seems right now, or P8. Look at this. This is what we were waiting for, folks. 15 laps to go here. 3 wide action already battling underway. The 66 car sends it down the inside following the 77 suit. That outside car getting absolutely eaten up for breakfast. Jeremy Burns has somehow found his way up into P2. Matt Robinson into 3rd. Baruba, 4th position as well. Can see the eagerness, the weaving, the drivers. They have to work together, but they also don't want to at the same time. Car on the outside there looked a little bit loose, but managing to keep it in check. Needs to carry that speed, and he does. You see just the difference between the lines there. Burns going to be coming under threat now, as well as Turner. We have a new race leader. Gilbert walks his way up fairly handedly there. Takes the inside lane as well. Robert Rader, though, coming into the party now. Lowe also trying to benefit. So far, though, Turner has gotten a little bit, well, I think he's going to be a little upset. And Chauncey, I don't think you could have put it better. Welcome to the jungle. This is what NASCAR is for, folks.
Big push by Raider here. They're out 4 or 5 car lengths. They're going to get eaten up pretty good. That's what you don't want to see. That's your second place. Is 3rd and 4th just swarming in on you. Big push coming here. There it is. Little disconnection, and here comes the 22 on the top side.
So much momentum, so much energy in that top lane. The inside 34 car a little bit out of shape. That's going to cause a checkup throughout the entirety of that pack. Gilbert going to be flying here with that draft from behind, push from behind. Slams the inside shut. Developing here. Sure, they will all reconvene at some point. one car that has the pleasure of leading the second pack. This is going to be Jacob Stewart. Got the pressure of quite a bit of horsepower behind him. Also quite a bit of horsepower in front of him. He needs to be finding the back of that pack in front. And these drivers, they need to be working together, not battling each other.
That's right. Too wide is not helping them right now. Jockeying for position is not helping them right now. They've only got 12 laps to make up. What is the gap right now? It's about a second back to the lead pack. So 2 good laps of running single file. You'll get there for sure. But 3 wide on the backstretch is not helping. Just about turned on the outside. Great save by that Mobile 1 car. That's a 40, I believe. Likens? It is Likens. Great save by him.
Taking a look back at the front pack here, low. Got a bit out of shape a little earlier, managing to keep it under Trek so far. Holding that P2 down nicely. Parking it right in the middle of the lane as well. Gets a little loose. From the tap from behind. Tires might be starting to feel it at this stage if the drivers did opt for maybe only one set or one side of tires. Too much of a problem, though, as Morgan had pointed out earlier. 10 laps to go.
And if you're the 9 of Jeremy Burns who we're on board with right now, where do you go? You can't go to the inside. There's cars to your outside. Where do you go? What do you do? How do you get around these cars?
Kind of stuck. Kind of stuck at the moment. Need to close that gap up to make sure you don't get swallowed up by anyone else. But for right now, it's a game of waiting, really, for somebody else to make a mistake. And it looks like there is a mistake. And this is the big one. Multiple cars involved. Burns takes to the slip road. 4, 5 cars are, in fact, crashing.
Oh, we got a whole
6,
bunch
7,
of
8,
cars.
9, 10. 11, 12 cars potentially that I count involved.
These
maybe even
these
more.
Cars are waiting. Yeah, that was a big one. Well, we're going to go back on board with 34 because that's where this started, and everyone's favorite word, it was a netcode. But let's have a look here. Let's go about 30 seconds back and replay this. And they're already wrecking. Let's go another 30 back. So set this up. 34 to second. Way out in front behind the 53, and think we're going to start checking up. We're going to start backing up a little bit. The 44 on the top is struggling, so the lines are a little bit weird. Going to have a big push here. 22. 34 goes up a little bit. They touch. When they touch, the 22 crosses the 39's nose, and all of a sudden, you got a bunch of cars involved. And a lot of cars coming in afterwards and cleaning out. 35 was involved in that. 15 got a little damage. The 1's involved, 39, a lot of cars we've talked about all day. 6 got through it, 49's in it. Just a tough situation there for a lot of cars. Let's ride on board to 35, and let's just watch what it looks like to try and avoid one of these wrecks. Yeah, we'll get there again. Little jump scare.
I have a bad feeling about this one.
So you can see them wrecking. Now you're just slowing down, trying to hope that they don't come down this far, and boom, right in the nose. And then looks like the car is okay somehow beyond. Oh, that's a miracle if I've ever seen one that car is still running. But it is. And that is what it looks like.
Hit.
Avoiding an accident, trying to avoid an accident at Daytona.
Not an easy job to do, especially when there are that many cars involved. The space is precious and the cars come at you fast.
They sure do. They sure do.
The 34 car racking up some frequent flyer miles as well. Not quite what you want to be doing in, well, until after the race. I think that was a car unlapping himself.
right.
Yep, Burns did a very nice maneuver taking to the grass as well. Definitely something to point out there, putting himself into a very good position to take the win.
Yeah, you got to go through the grass sometimes, especially on the front stretch of the tri-oval. If you have a situation where they're wrecking, sometimes turning it hard left and just driving to the grass is the best course of action. But Chat, was your driver involved in that accident? And if they weren't, how do you assess their chances?
Well, the odds of your driver being involved were quite high considering just, well, the law of large numbers. But it seems like, where's Travis? That's the question.
Travis was the 22. He was involved in that. Travis was
well,
involved.
That's going to be
right there. 39 was also involved. Al Likens was in it.
Yeah, there were a few of the fan favorites then that were involved in that collision, that's for sure. Caution lights are out, though. Pace car will be returning in this lap. We have 6 to go. There's going to be 2 green-white caution. Well, there can be 2 green-white caution attempts.
Green-white checker. Just making sure that the
green-white checker.
The fans
Thank
at home.
you.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not green-white caution. That would be a checker in this case anyway. If there's a white flag and then the caution comes out after the white flag, race is over in iRacing just as it is in NASCAR. That last flag would end the race. But regardless, we're going to get to that white flag. We're going to get that checkered flag, and it's going to be a whale of a finish. I can feel it, Mike.
I can as well. We will most certainly see the tension is building. This is where the drivers are going to be at their most aggressive. And let's be honest here, every one of these drivers wants that $100 here tonight. But once again, it's not even about the $100. It's about the championship points. So that's one of the biggest things to keep in mind is maybe that race win isn't quite worth it. Think about the long-term strategy versus the short-term. But obviously, no plan survives first contact, especially with the enemy. And every one of these cars has a grid full of enemies.
You just said it's okay to come in second. Are you sure you're a race car driver? You sure you're a race fan? There's a famous NASCAR documentary called Talladega Nights that tells me if you're not first, you're last, in fact.
That's my favorite NASCAR documentary. I really, they use that, I'm pretty sure a lot of those training methods are used in modern day NASCAR, but that's beside the point. The pace car is in, the green flag is in the air, and is about to go waving as we go green, green, green once again. Robert Rader off to a solid start, Jeremy Burns in P2. Immediately, that outside line just isn't able to get a good restart every single time, but you can see once we come around the back straight, we're going to be gaining a load of momentum and trying to carry all of that energy onto the super straight. And there is that energy, that speed into the corner now. Obviously, you're carrying more speed. You might need to slow down a little bit more. As we also have Fike joining the party, trying to scrap it out and go any which way he can. Every driver going for those blocks. Nobody wanting to allow anyone by. Burabo leading this race. Fike to the inside. 3 wide now. The 20 car stuck in the middle. In a pretty poor position here. Is going to need to find a spot to rejoin this pack at some point in time. He does onto the high line. Again 3 wide in 2 different positions here. I sense something cooking here, Morgan.
There's a car on the wall back there. That's the 35. Couple cars involved. Oh, big wreck. Big hits back there.
Caution will be out. Now, are we going to see the pace car back in? That is the question. Looks like there were only a few drivers involved in this one.
So here's the 35. Got the 18 dude was outside. Big checkup. 18 tries to take advantage, and the 35 squeeze him in the wall a little bit, and then cars just can't avoid it. Not much you can do if you're a car behind him. The 91's in it. I think the 92 was in it. Let's ride on board with the 91. He had a pretty good shot of what just happened. Nose cam here. Let's replay. So they're 3 wide in front of him. Big checkups coming. All of a sudden, where do you go? 92's in it. 91 just gets hit from behind. And around he goes.
Put himself in a pretty good position to avoid the contact as well. It's just unfortunate from what came from behind there. 3 laps to go. I'm not sure we are going to be seeing any more racing laps.
Well, we'll be green-white checker for sure. Because we're going to have at least 2 laps of pacing here, which will bring us to 1 to go. Obviously, you can't restart on 1 to go. So this race is going to be extended over time. Everyone who's in attendance gets a couple free extra laps here. The drivers, hopefully, you don't need a bio break because we got a couple more to go here. And this should be a great finish to this race. Attempt 1 in a green-white checker. We are past the opportunity for a natural. And I don't know, do you pit here? What do you think, Mike?
I think that the drivers are hoping they have enough fuel. I don't think pitting. I mean, I'm not sure myself. I think you want to stay out, obviously, track position. But you're really just going to be going for what the rest of the field does, I would imagine. If the front pack decides to, then everyone will. But I don't see sacrificing track position here.
No, my position is the same. For me, the pit car, unless you're involved in that accident, the pit car has been packed up. It's already on its way back to North Carolina, where the team shops are. Right now, it's just the car on the racetrack, and all you got to do is defend, attack, depending on your position, and bring it home after 2 green flag laps with the checkered flag. We'll see what happens. Who you like, Mike?
Devin. I like chat. I was just reading chat. Sorry.
All good.
Keeping up with chat. Appreciate everybody for being here. Rich, welcome. Thank you so much. Of course, thank you to everybody, all the family members here cheering on their family, their friends, their loved ones, and their spouses, as well as, of course, partners. Absolutely awesome to see. You guys are enjoying, of course, as we'd mentioned, a little bit of overtime, some free content in addition to your already free content. So I think the least you guys could do, if you guys hit that like button, subscribe button, and don't miss a bell here, or hit the bell and don't miss a beat at V-Speed. It's much appreciated. Like I say, it costs you nothing and it helps us out tremendously. Getting close to that 1,000 subscribers at V-Speed. Very, very close on YouTube. So if you want to be a part of that, do hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? QSR Simulations, thank you.
Coming to the choose here. Below the double yellow is, people are not choosing quite yet. Must be next lap we choose. Oh, pace lights are out on the pace car. That was the choose. Let's rack them up.
.5 miles before we go green. You see the anticipation again on everybody, where we will have 2 laps to battle it out for the $100 that is on the line for tonight, but also the championship points for the future. But let's be honest, everybody wants that title. The winner the Coastal Financial 250 here at Daytona. Are coming into the pits this lap. That is, who is that?
That is
Bennett.
That's Raider serving a penalty, I believe, for clipping the box on the choose. Didn't have a great shot of it, but I believe he had the right side tires above that box, which is where the start-finish line and the double yellow intersect. You got to be on the apron or on the racing surface. And it looks like Raider missed it by a little bit. Much, much better for the driver to take the penalty now than take the points penalty later. We were just talking about points and how important they are. You don't want to give them away on a simple technicality like that.
Still gutting, though.
It is.
To get that penalty in the first place on the final caution.
But there are still positions to make up. He fell back to, let me see here, he's 27th. But there are still 26 spots in front of him he could go get.
Got to get him quickly. Pace car is in. John Fike takes the lead of this race. Burbo in P2. We approach the line. We go green, green, green once again, and hopefully for the final time here tonight. Immediately, Fike is going to close that inside off with Burbo behind. McDonald joining this party as well. Tay McDonald, a name that we haven't mentioned too much. Now a contender for the race win, potentially. Also one of the fan favorites in chat. Orlando in that P5 position coming at it, but look at the overspeed. McDonald storms to the lead of this race with the 27 car, Orlando in tow. Big bump draft. And of course, Orlando wants this win just as much as McDonald. Cars shuffling to that inside. A car is wide. There's a collision here. Looks like we're going to continue on green, though, as we keep pushing them along. Car to the inside, though. Got to keep an eye on that. Well, the final lap is, of course, the final lap presented to you by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. 29 car holding it for now. Tay McDonald, but the overspeed from the outside line. You can see mass momentum from, I think that's Alves behind. The 27 car, though, chucks up and gets the bump draft, sending him to the lead. Orlando plays this brilliantly, but is it brilliant enough? As they come through the final corner, there's a bit of shoving, some pushing, but for right now, Tay McDonald has it. Can he keep it, though? Big contact, 4 wide action. There's a huge one now happening behind, but don't pay attention to that because Tay McDonald has taken the race win. Dustin in P2 and Kevin Orlando Jr. takes P3.
And we'll just let the carnage settle for a second. Wow. I didn't expect 5 wide into the grass at the finish of the Daytona 250 here by Coastal Financial. Let's, what do you think? What do you say we go back and have a look at that?
I say we most certainly do. It looks like Macy Taylor got a little too excited. Nightbot had a word with her. Oh my goodness. What a finish once again. Very reminiscent to what we saw on Monday, but still, look at the finish here. The 29 car blocking as much as he can, parks it in the center of the track, then the inside. Oh, and the contact gets sideways. But wow, what a finish.
Wow, that was some incredible stuff by Tay McDonald. Great win by him. Started up at the front and had an issue, fell to the back, and then worked his way up right when it mattered the most. Great job for Mr. McDonald.
And what a finish again. Hope everybody enjoyed that because holy smokes, that was a finish and a half. As we have it, though, we are going to be getting ready to take a quick little break here. And after that, we will be resuming with our post-race interviews.
Been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
And welcome back to V-Speed, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed the Coastal Financial 250. What a finish that was. As we have it, we're going to go over our results real quick. As we have starting off with Tay McDonald, dominant at the very end when he needed to be. Started fourth, finished in first. Of course, we have Dustin Dustin Reinstedel in P2 with Kevin Orlando Jr. in P3. We have John Fike is going to be bringing up fourth position with Alex Perget Borobo in P5. Trevor Erhardt, our previous Daytona 500 winner, in P6 with Grant Thorpe Company in 7th. Daniel Holloway in P8. Jeremy Burns in 9th. And rounding out our top 10 is going to be Turner.
Coming home in 11th was Likens. He had that ultimate strategy. Didn't quite work out at the end. Casey Gross is going to finish in 12th. Alves 13th. Michael Bennett in 14th in the 14 car. It doesn't happen very often. Gilbert's going to come home 15th. Diaz 16th. Israel, who got caught up in a wreck at the end, 17th. Call is going to be 18th. Keith 19th. And Lane was the first caution in 20th.
Dylan Smoot is going to be in P21 with Servich in 22nd. 23rd position rounded off by Christopher Schaefer, and 23rd and 24th belonging to Parker Johnston. Robert Rader, unfortunately, finishing off in P25 with Matt Robinson in 26th. Lynn's going to be bringing home 27th with Gilbert in 28th, Lancaster 29th, and Johnson in 30th.
And your last 9 in this race, Chanel 31st, Loveland in 32nd. All these drivers had issues and fell more than a lap or more down. Berger in 33rd, Nail 34th, the 17 car finished 35th, Stewart in 36th, Taylor, Lowe, and Murphy 37th, 8th, and 9th will round out your field. Tough breaks for all the cars on this page right here, but long season to go, full NASCAR season, in fact, to get back into it.
And as we have it, we are going to be rounding up our top 3 drivers in for some post-race interviews. And I think we have, or Morgan, I think you've had a chance to catch up with our finishers. And starting us off, I think, is going to be Kevin Orlando, who is not located. So I think we're going to be starting off with Dustin, it seems.
All right. Let's bring him up here. Bring him on down. Dustin Reinstedel, it's Morgan and Mike up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
What's up?
Well, I've only got one question for you. Where the heck did you come from?
Just riding around until the last 5 or 10 laps. That's what I always do at super speedways.
Well, I would say
no, I was just telling them that was the most wild finish I think I've ever been in at Daytona, and everybody not wreck it coming to the line. We wrecked after the line, which is, is what it is. But that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I can definitely say I've never seen 4 wide in the grass for the win and 3 wide for the next position right behind them, and you all wreck at the same time coming across the line. That was pretty spectacular stuff. But you started 34th, so way in the back in this race. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I guess it was a duel, so probably not.
I got a penalty from the duel race.
Okay, penalty from the duel race.
Yeah, there's always that new guy that doesn't quite read all the rules, and that was me last week.
Yes, this is your reminder, chat. You got to read the rules, or you'll start 34th. Finish second, though. That's what you want to see out of the opening race. What did you need to get that last position and bring home the win?
Honestly, I was going to push Tay to the win and not worry about it, but I was getting pushed so much from behind. I actually got turned coming out of 4, and I guess I got turned perfectly into Kevin to not wreck, and then I was in the middle, so I was like, well, I'll just stay in the gas, so it worked out. I wasn't planning on making it that interesting, but can't believe we didn't wreck out of 4.
Well, yeah, you made it interesting, that's for sure. They wrecked behind you. Don't you worry about that. There was enough carnage for everyone. Great race here tonight. You showed how to drive through this field and be patient and show up right at the last second. Who do you want to thank for or shout out for this race here tonight?
Well, I gotta shout out all my guys from Tire Slayer for one that are letting me run with them this year. Great teamwork, and then performance team also helped us out, so we were all working together, so it was pretty fun. Crazy, but you got to have help here, even though at the end it always seems like it's a one-man show coming to the line, but it was fun. No complaints at all. So good start to the season, ready to get to some tracks that require a little extra.
Right on. Well, good run here
Hey
tonight.
guys, sorry to jump in and interrupt here. Actually, we were informed of something that happened mid-race and have checked it, and as a result, Tay McDonald's actually been disqualified. Well, he'll have an L1 penalty, which will move him back 10 places from where he's at. So actually, Dustin is the winner of the race.
Ooh.
Wow. Dustin, how's it feel? I guess that's very interesting, but we have a new race winner, I suppose.
Weird. I'll stick to my previous speech. We'll keep it there.
Good. Well, scratch my second question as it's moot now. Congratulations. I can't show you as the winner. You're still a second place on the graphic, but just scratch out that 2 and the ND and put a 1 and an ST, and that's your winner, Dustin Reinstedel, this evening. Well, have we found John Fike, Kevin Orlando Jr., anyone to else to chat with? We do not.
Does not
have
seem
anyone.
that way.
All right. Well, let's do some fill while we find somebody, because one interview is not what the people signed up for.
Hey,
No,
I
not
can
quite.
keep talking, man. I'm a college golf coach. I can talk all day.
Awesome.
Recruiting's what I do.
Right on.
I do see Kevin just jump down in the chat though.
I see that. Well, I will move you back where you were, Dustin, and congratulations on the win tonight. And see you next
Yes,
week.
sir. Thank you guys.
You bet. Kevin Orlando Jr. driving the 27 car is going to bring it home. Across the line in P3, actually scored in P2, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Kevin?
That is what I'm hearing as of right now. Of course, that's unofficial because we still have to do the full post-race review. But we always get started with any incidents that involve the race winner, and we already caught that one. Really unfortunate. I know exactly what Tay's going through right now because I lost the race last year in the exact same way. So, but yeah, I mean that was a crazy race. I mean, a lot of great, clean racing for the most part. The pack was packed up the whole time, and that finish. I mean, I thought we were 3 wide, but we had Fike that got turned a little bit, who was down below for pretty much a 4 wide finish. So I can't ask for anything better than that. Just a great showing from this full field of drivers. We got a lot of rookies, a lot of new guys that aren't used to running around each other, the same way as some of our veterans here. And it was good to see them, falling in and not, having as much of a hard time as sometimes we expect with iRacing.
Yeah, right on. It was definitely a good race. Saw a lot of, like you mentioned, the pack was always together. A few incidents, but that's always going to happen. Daytona, that's just the
Of
nature
course,
of the beast, right? I don't know if you ran any 500s this
unavoidable.
week, but yeah, exactly. I don't know if you ran any 500s this week, but you probably found that in those if you ran those races. Your 27 car started mid-pack, 21st, didn't lead any laps, but that's okay because it came home in P2. What was your strategy tonight? Was it hang at the back, run in the middle, be up at the front? Where did you want to be middle of this race?
Middle of this race, my plan was kind of to be just behind the middle of the pack. I didn't want to be in the meat of it and end up in a wreck, but I also didn't want to be, stuck in the back because with this package, it's just so hard to get that momentum to come from the back to the front. So throughout the first portion of the race, it was really just kind of trying to see what the car was going to be capable of with such a big pack, and um, where the runs were going to be and predictions to get ready towards the end of this race. And I think I put myself, kind of in the right spot. Coming to just before one of those last cautions, we had about 20 to go, and I was stuck in like 20th place, and I was like, I can't even go anywhere. Normally I like to try to really start making the moves around with 10 to go, because then you're kind of that's when the momentum starts happening. People want to move, people start making moves. But at 20 to go, that kind of is when it turned on, just because of how heavy the air is with these cars. There's just not enough momentum from the back to get moving. Had to go sooner.
Yeah, well, you obviously made it work as you pulled it up into the second place position. Yeah, and that crazy finish across the line, you were 4 wide and then 3 wide directly behind you, all wrecking together to finish off this race. Anybody you want to shout out for a second place finish in the opener at Daytona?
I mean, I mostly got to shout out my team. All of them were great tonight. A lot of good communication and help from each other to try to make things happen. Unfortunately, Tyler was not able to qualify for the race, but he was still in the chat. He was, acting as kind of a crew chief, emotional support kind of thing, keeping us informed of where the momentum was and that kind of stuff. So that was a big help. So big thanks to him. Big thanks to the team. And, of course, big thanks to our sponsors. We got Chapman Environmental, Ultimate Siding and Gutters. We have All About Bugs on board this year. We have Ultimate Exterior Lighting and Erhardt Group, and of course Buttkicker. I think that's everyone. It's always hard in the beginning of the season to double check what we actually got going on, but and of course, lastly, but of course not least, thanks to you guys coming on board this year. I'm looking forward to a exciting year.
Yeah, if the racing on the track this evening was anything, the rest of the season anything like what was on the track tonight, then yeah, we will have a terrific season. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on P2. I'll let you go celebrate with your team. And
Thank you very much.
all right, have a good one.
Good.
Seems we have no word from Jonathan Fike, unfortunately, but that is all right. I think he is also probably settling in the fact that he has gotten a podium. Of course, Tay McDonald, unfortunately, getting a penalty, costing him 10 positions. Finishes P1 on track, though. Still can say that. Dustin, though, the talk of the town, the number 11 car, finishes in P1. Kevin Orlando Jr. in second, and John Fike in third, officially / unofficially. As we have it, though, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Of course, we are going to be back next week for the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. We're going to be heading over to Atlanta, 1.5 mile speedway with its new configuration. Bound to be exciting. Live February 28th at 8:30 Eastern Time here at V-Speed. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss a single race here. I hope everyone has a lovely, or from me as well as from Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, and Bradley Cooper, as well as Morgan Cook, I'm sure. I hope everyone has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.